Can we possibly construct a world today or tomorrow where we can optimize every bit of energy input and output in the system that are supporting our growing economy? From an engineering point of view, I think one most straightforward way to reduce energy consumption is simply by reducing a product's processing time, its infrastructure costs, and tooling costs. During my experience in both the corporate and startup world, I learned that timing is most important in a product's success. Having been a materials and processing engineer for a rocket engine maker, I ran large test matrices to make sure that 3D printed metals work just as well as conventional forged materials and cast materials, if not better. The main limitation in 3D printing is that there are only a handful of materials we can use today, and usually these materials are more expensive. But what's interesting is that even with the more expensive upfront costs, there's still profit margin in using 3D printing versus traditional manufacturing techniques. But we're still trying to test where 3D printing can fit in our manufacturing space. Now, right now we're testing which material can be printable. We're trying to figure out where we can vertically integrate 3D printing in our production lines. We'll need material innovation to feed into this 3D printing manufacturing platform. We're going from a multi-manufacturing step to one single printing step. We're going from a subtractive method to an additive method. Now, as the lead materials engineer at a structural startup tech company, I work closely with design engineers to create 3D printed auto parts that are stronger and faster to replace the traditional automotive parts. Now, what this means is my team and I had to work 80 hours a week and really fine-tuning and learning our printers. And that means going from learning how does a laser power in conjunction with the laser velocity, all that as a function, an input to the microstructure and mechanical properties. So 3D printing comes in because it really takes away the initial investment in infrastructure and tooling. Lastly, I'd like to share my experience going from corporate to startup. Number one, knowing my transferable skills. I knew that my technical know-how in materials and research would allow me to go from corporate and aerospace to even automotive. I knew that my interpersonal skills would transfer, that I would give my coworkers simply the respect and courtesy that they deserve. Startups are usually less structured and more fast-paced, which turned out to be very true. And I anticipated for that transition by preparing myself and planning the day-to-day agenda and setting realistic goals. Number two is knowing what interests me and what doesn't. I enjoy being at the forefront of technology and on the research side of things. And in corporate, I was able to touch many interesting topics and projects. But my urge to dig deeper into the details really motivated me to leave somewhere comfortable and join a company and join a team to build up a company's 3D printing capabilities from the ground up.